You're listening to the Daily Sales Tips Podcast, and I'm your host, Scott Ingram. Today, I've got another clip from my latest interview with Dale Dupree. Actually, this is two short clips in one where you can get a sense of the mindset, approach, and strategies that Dale deploys in his prospecting efforts.
And so I would head back to the office and do all my follow-up for the rest of the day. And essentially what I was following up on were my drops. Imagine being an account executive searching after net new business, and instead of just trying to coldly and blindly get an appointment, that you're very purposeful and you're very authentic on top of that inside of this purpose that you're trying to fulfill for yourself, but more so that you're intentional about the interaction that you're having. The intentionality, I think, is the most important part to this, because I could call the front desk and say, hey, it's the copier warrior from earlier. Were you able to get that picture of me and Chuck to Dennis, and can I speak with him? And I'm telling you right now that when you make that call, the front desk, 90% of the time, it's just like, I gave it to him. He laughed. They give you all kinds of info. They become your alliance inside of the organization in those moments. And they'll say one of two things, like, he's not interested, but he said, keep in touch. Like, it's the softest no you've ever gotten. Or they'll say something along the lines of, he said to call him tomorrow at 3, right? Or, yeah, he's in, So like either you get to them or you get the softest no ever. But one way or another, I always kept people in my pipeline. I should mention that. Even if they told me they weren't interested, I kept them in a bucket where I was respectful but pleasantly persistent with them over time, and I won their business. So about 5 o'clock, people go home, right, Scott? Like, they straight up just clock out and go home. But like I was telling you, like, I'd go back into the field. I called it decompressing. And at one point I was doing it wrong, but I'll tell you the right way to do it is that you go back into the field, but you go with this attitude and mentality of serving. And so you head to a community event, or you head to a hotel, but go change your clothes first. Like, head in with some jeans and tennis shoes. Like, be less intrusive and be more meaningful in what it is that you're trying to accomplish with these business owners and these people that you're trying to serve. I'm telling you, if you do this the right way, you never even have to cold call again in the first place. But I loved my outreach methodology so much because, again, like, when you walk in and you hand somebody a cardboard cutout of yourself that's 6 feet tall and you say, hey, Eric has been ignoring my phone calls and I just want to meet him. And so I figured this would probably be the best way. If you'll put this in his office and just tell him that, I said, gotcha. Like, the front desk loses their mind, right? They love it more than anything. And then, if you're intentional enough and if you put the right message with it, you're fun, but you're also serious in what it is that you want to accomplish inside of the experience you're building, they'll call you every single time. And again, they'll become something bigger than how it started.
There's so much more in this interview, and we're not done yet. The full nearly 85-minute conversation is waiting for you over on the Sales Success Stories podcast, and that's just part 1. Dale and I are scheduled to talk again on July 3rd for round 2, and that episode will release on July 23rd. If you listen to these right away as they come out, you've still got a couple of days if you want to send me your own follow-up question for Dale that I can include in that interview. Or better yet, just come join us at the Sales Success Summit and ask him yourself. As always, links to everything are available at dailysales.tips/162. Thanks for listening, and come back tomorrow for another great sales tip.